This is Out Loud and Laughing.
What is up, Chosen fam? Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we are sitting down with someone who is basically living the ultimate multi-hyphenate dream. He's a tech corporate powerhouse at Google by day, a global jet setter, festival king, and an Instagram influencer who somehow makes traveling the world and hitting the best parties look completely effortless. He is such a stud, magnetic, full of energy, and happens to be someone I'm lucky enough to call a close friend and colleague. Chosen fam, please welcome to the pod the fabulous Joseph Lucido.
Hello. Hi. So excited to be here. Glad I'm finally doing this. An honor to be on the pod. And yes, Brian and I go way back. So this is so fitting.
I'm so excited to have you on the pod. Now, we don't go incredibly way back. You and I met a year, maybe 2 years ago in New York when we were at the Outright International Gala. But personally, since the day I met you, I was hyped to get you on the pod. And for anybody who's listening or watching and are meeting you for the first time today, they can see how amazing of a life you've curated via your IG. But today we want to give them the real feel of who you are. So let's start with the basics, Joe. Give us a little bit about yourself, what life looks like in your world right now. Where are you calling us from? That's what I've always wanted to say to somebody, Brian. Where are you calling us from?
That's a great question. I do feel like a lot of calls I'm on, the first question I get is, where are you today?
Yeah.
So I am in New York, which I am so happy to be. Shocker. I'm in my apartment, which is great since I pay all this rent. I'm so happy to actually be in it for once. I do leave next week for a trip, but it is great to be back right now. My name is Joseph Lucido. I work for Google full time. I've been with Google for almost 8 years, which is really crazy. It's literally the second company I've ever worked for out of college. That's how Brian and I know each other. So we previously were on the same team doing similar roles. And, now we still are like in the same orbit. But yeah, so I work for Google, do product strategy full time, but I'm also a content creator. So I have been a content creator for a little over 10 years now, which is really crazy to think. I have done it probably since I was like 18, but I think I started taking it seriously and actually understanding how to monetize, treating it like a business since I graduated college, moved to New York. So about 10 years. And that's kind of my two main things that keep me occupied.
I mean, you say that, but I work with you at Google, and so I know how hard you work and how many balls you have in the air for Google alone, but also like giving yourself credit on the IG. Like you have a really good following. You are showing off your life. You're very authentic. But John and I, who just balance it all, like how do you find that balance? How do you do both? Because there's only so much time in the day.
Yeah, it's definitely been a journey. I think what I've learned and experienced is early in my career, that's when I was really grinding. So I graduated from college, moved to the city, and I'd spent a lot of time in New York previously. So it did feel like home, but I was traveling a ton for work because I was a consultant. And that was really where the struggle was. It was, 80-hour work weeks, but I also was so passionate about content creation. And I feel like back then, that's like to like age myself a bit, that's like 2016 era. So like the notion of an influencer was kind of just starting. It was there, it was a thing, but brands didn't really know how to work with creators. They definitely weren't even called content creators then. It was just like truly the Wild West in so many ways. And it's kind of just like, you have to make the time. I don't sleep that much, to be honest, so that helps. But as my career has gone further, I think what I've learned is just like, you dedicate time to what you think is most important. So right now, actually, I would say like Google career, that side is super, super important to me. And I love creating content. I love Instagram. I love social media, but I don't do as much as I used to. Like I'd say my sweet spot of like, I was working so much on that side was really like 2018 to like 2024. Those were like, I was chugging along and like really busy. I also had an agent for part of that time. So that was like a big component of helping to make things a lot easier. But now it really is like time management, being intentional, and putting your energy where like you are passionate. So I do still love content creation, but I admittedly spend a little less time doing it now than I do work and like personal life. But the beauty of my page is my personal life is my social media. So it is easy-ish to integrate in that way where it's like, this is my life and I do just kind of post about it. So like, even if I didn't have a following, I'd be doing the same thing. So that helps.
Now, I follow you on social media, just, outside of our knowing one another, but it's sort of true, like the way that you just said it, because I'm sitting here wondering, what don't you put on social media, right? Could be such a weird place for people who are trying to curate perfection or oversharing for whatever reasons that they're trying to fulfill within themselves. How how are you navigating currently this part of it, in terms of putting so much of your life online while keeping boundaries? Joseph, do you have any boundaries? Yeah, knowing
Do
your
you?
I
social media, I
do.
know,
I
knowing your
do. I
social media.
swear.
Yeah.
No, like, it's such a good question because when I started social media, it was so curated. It really, and also what you shared, there was so much less you could share, just the way the
Mm,
platform has evolved. It's people are so online. There's like stories and instants and just all these things where it is you're like perpetually sharing. So that has made it a lot easier. But when I first started, it was very much like a curated persona. Just because like those touch points of the content you were sharing, it was a lot more minimal. It was maybe like a few things a week, a few posts a week. And when I started my page, what people followed me for was quite different to what I think they follow me for now. When I started social media, I'll give you like the quick rundown of like how I built my audience. But basically, I was not allowed to have any form of social media till I turned 18 and was going to college. My parents like didn't let me have MySpace. I like begged them to get a Facebook before I graduated high school so I could like keep in touch with my friends. And when I did that, I like created an Instagram, and then I knew like a lot of people. Great fun. Went to college at Chapel Hill. I played tennis, and if you know kind of anything about like the South and UNC as a school, they love their athletes. So honestly, just me being on a sports team and involved in like the community, I gained like a pretty decent following, probably around like 10 or 15K just
mhm.
that first year. And that kind of paired with a lot of the other things I was doing. So I was modeling then. I started when I was about like 15, kind of kept doing it as a side thing. And that was always combined with my social media. It gave me so many of these interesting opportunities to like travel or be in New York. And that kind of helped bring an audience. But then that audience was like, well, they want something curated. They want to see like the work I'm doing, shoots I'm going on. Like I also interned for GQ. So they wanted to see that part of my life. So it really was a bit of like that fantasy, like this is like the amazing life you can show on social media. But the older I got, it just life kind of changed. Like I kept some of that, but I've always traveled a lot, and that's been something important to me. So I think it evolved to me just sharing more and more. And really, part of me being like so open is just like I didn't have time to curate this like perfect persona, and I just wanted to kind of like get rid of that and then shift to like this is me. And like I'm not delusional about like why my following has grown or like who follows me. Like it is very much, I'll look at my stats, it's like 80% men, most of them definitely gay. Instagram doesn't tell you that, but it's pretty obvious. And then
Republican.
like people, yeah, either cities that like I have lived in or like have a connection to or just like major cities. Um, and yeah, I think a big part of me like kind of losing the pretense is just like, why not? It's more fun that way. It's
Yeah.
easier on me, to be honest. And I don't think people really like that super curated vibe anymore. Like I think we've kind of left that age. It's just like a little fake. People want you to be like hot and funny or like relatable or something. There has to be something. Like it can't just be one thing. You have to be entertaining.
Yeah.
And I attempt to do that.
Well, entertaining you are. So
Yeah.
I am a close friend of yours. So I also know how much international travel that you do.
Yes.
Girl loves to get
Yes.
on an airplane
I
and
Yeah, she
go
do.
does.
anywhere, even if it's for 24 hours. I want to deep dive a little bit and have a little more of a kiki around some of the travel. So you were just at World Pride. Let's chat about that.
Yeah.
Tell us
Oh,
the tea,
yeah.
please.
What came out of that?
Yeah. So I was basically gone for the month of July. I was in my apartment 4 days total. So love that. But it came about that I had to go to Paris for work, like super last minute, this like big important client workshop. And I had already had Berlin Pride and World Pride travel plans with my friends, but there was basically going to be like a 4-day window between this Paris work trip and these, gay summer travel plans. I was like, it makes no sense to fly home, get jet lagged, then fly back, just get jet lagged again. So I just stayed. I went on this amazing little trip to Malta with one of my friends in Europe, and it was so wonderful. Malta, I'd heard it's like the best place for LGBTQ people in Europe.
Wow.
Um, Supposedly, like that's been voted that, and vibes are great. People are super nice, super friendly. Berlin Pride was amazing. My
Waffles, I'm
friends,
sure.
it was, yes. So like, I guess us wanting to do World Pride, we did World Pride as a friend group last year. It was in DC, so super easy to get to from New York. But honestly, we were kind of like disappointed. When it was being hosted was the time that Trump was doing a lot of things we did not like painting over rainbow crosswalks, that whole shebang.
Yeah.
So I did feel like that celebration was a little muted. And my friends and I were like, well, it's in Amsterdam next year. We've only done World Pride in the US. Like, let's do it. Let's, go on a little adventure. And we were like, well, instead of just going for one Pride, why not go for two? None of us had done Berlin Pride either. Berlin Pride, so fun, obviously very techno heavy.
Yeah. EDM.
EDM, techno, which is not necessarily my preferred vibe.
Sure.
I would love a house moment, but I had a great time in Berlin. I thought it was so cool, completely different than like anything I'd been to, and actually had a great time. But World Pride was magical. Just like Amsterdam is an incredible city. It's beautiful. It's so gay friendly. And the highlight was Madonna being announced to perform like week of, and then bringing out my personal diva, Kylie Minogue,
Right.
was just like life changing. So huge highlight. I would say World Pride. That World Pride is probably the best Pride I've ever been to. So it was amazing. And
What
yes, I do love
was
an international trip.
what was the vibe like at World Pride being in a city that is like renowned for being so open and accepting already? Like, did it just feel like no rules? Did it feel like what was the vibe? Like, can you just sum it up for us a bit?
Yeah, it's so different. So I compare it to New York Pride, which is, the one I've been to the most. And that it just feels like the gays and the people are kind of separated. Like there's not really kind of moments where we intermingle, at least from my experience. Most queer people, or a lot of like at least the gays specifically, don't really go to like the parade in New York. It's kind of not really a
Right.
thing. Whereas but in Berlin and in Amsterdam, the whole city like descends on the parade, and it truly feels like a collective celebration of joy. And allies feel like allies, and they're truly there to like celebrate and uplift the gay community. But I don't think we get that really in the US
Yeah.
often. I think it's pretty like the gays will hang with the gays, and then like there are allies and they like will maybe go to some events, but it doesn't feel as together. So that was really the biggest for me. Didn't necessarily feel like there were no rules. It just felt like the whole city was in on the celebration, and it was so amazing to see.
Can you I wanna get into the real tea though, Joseph. Berlin.
Yeah.
Like
Yes,
2 a.m.
sure.
parties and probably like dungeon-like party, like a lot of nudity. Because I've heard, Berlin,
Fair.
I haven't been out in Berlin like that, and
Hmm.
like it can get
Brian, when I hear Berlin, I think the whole place is like the Eagle. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
I really
Yes.
do.
100%.
Yeah.
It's like the eagle on steroids,
Oh my God,
basically.
of course.
Like, so I I would say the parties we went to kind of ran the spectrum of, there were like just naked parties where, check your clothes at the door, naked the whole time,
Prep in the water.
to like Berghain. We went to Berghain, and that's obviously like a little more commingling of like straight people, queer
Sure.
people, but it really was wild. Two parties that I would highlight were Berghain. I waited an hour 45 in line.
Wow.
which you have to. You just like, it's unavoidable. But I brought my Kindle. So I'm literally in the Berghain line reading on my Kindle, just like do.
That's good.
And then like when you're,
Oh my God.
like 50 feet from the entrance, you put everything away. You have to be silent. You cannot speak to anyone or they'll just like immediately turn you away at the door.
Why?
And like Berghain is great. I think like everyone should try to go, but I didn't love it. Like I'd been once before and I was just like, it feels like people are here. One, they're zombies because they've been there for 48 hours and haven't left. Two, it's just like, I don't know, kind of performative. So it's amazing. It is such a cool space. Sound system's amazing. But I had the best time at Kit Kat.
Okay.
Kit Kat Club, which is obviously like also world famous, had 2 amazing parties. And I think you can get anything you want there. Like one of the nights, it was very BDSM focused and like, that's not my thing, but doesn't matter. You can still have a great time. And the other night was like basically all gay and very just like magical, amazing music. The space is really cool. There's like a pool and just like it looks like a circus in the best way. So yeah, amazing. I like would go to Berlin Pride again for sure.
This whole conversation, you guys, is giving me Bill Hader, Stefan SNL vibes. Like when he talks about the nightclubs on the Weekend Update. Do you know what I'm talking about? And then this club. Listen, Brian and I were actually in Spain this summer for Barcelona, and it was during Barcelona Pride. It was a lot of fun. I wouldn't like go out of my way for it again. Barcelona, you got a little bit of work to do, but it was also the World Cup. So hey, they had that.
They were busy.
They were busy.
There's a lot going on. A lot of other things going on. Fair.
Very much. Very much.
So I wanted to chat a little bit about gay cruises too, Joseph, because the stories are there and I feel like gay culture, people need to know this, right?
Yes.
And it's funny,
They
I
do.
recently was with a friend, maybe an ex-Googler, who went on a gay cruise as well. And the tea was real for him too. So I was just like, we have to bring light to this. Like, it sounds so freeing. It is a wet experience, no pun intended. Apparently, it's like a real life grinder door where you put pictures on your door.
My God, yes.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
This is the investigative journalism we need. So I am happy to be the on the ground experience reporter. Okay, I will preface this with a little context. I've done 3 of the Atlantis cruises, and I think like I look back, my first one, it feels like I was so young when I did it, but I'm pretty sure I was like 27, so that's like not that young. But it is, but it isn't. And
Right.
I think it gets a really interesting reputation, like as being very circuity, which it definitely is. There's definitely components to it, but as someone who likes to parties a lot, but is not a circuit queen, you can still have an amazing time on this cruise. So it may like lean a little bit towards that, but it's like if Fire Island was on steroids for a full week and the furthest you have to walk is like 10 minutes to go do anything.
That's amazing.
It is crazy. So it is fully understand like it's a week of partying. You go, you're partying. There are people, they say the whole spiel, you can go and not party. And like, yeah, if you want to, but then it's like your options, like there are other things to do. There's entertainment, there's shows, sure. There's like, I swear to God, there's people in like their 70s on these cruises and they're at the parties, but they're also like taking a couple nights off. So it can be a mix of what you want, but like you mentioned there, you decorate your door, you put thoughty photos on your door, and you have like a whiteboard where people can leave you messages. They can like write their room number, write their phone number, Instagram, whatever. There are people who just leave their doors open and, you know, you can just wander in, have some fun, and then leave.
I love this.
It's so funny. There's also like people basically make their home like lock screens on their phone, QR codes. So you're at the parties and you can just like turn your camera on, scan someone's QR code, and then it like goes directly to their Instagram. So it's like the easy way of like exchanging contact info. So yeah, I've done it, but I've done it 3 times. First year, incredible time. Had like the most magical time, even though the weather was shit. But I went with 3 of my best friends. And I think we kind of went because we'd done a lot of these gay parties. It was something we hadn't done before. And everyone we had talked to raved about. They were like, yeah, do it. So we did it. Amazing time. Like truly, I was like, wait, this is so fun. So we kind of immediately booked to go again year 2. And then year 2, we went in a group of 20 people. So
Wow.
massive group, which was, I think, a cool experience as well. Like we did a small group, we did this massive group, and it was equally fun. I actually became best friends with one of my best friends on that cruise. It was someone from New York who we had known each other. We were like in similar orbits. Like I'd run into him at Barry's classes, but we became like best friends on this cruise and are super, super close today. And it was a great experience. So we booked it again because we were like, me and this guy who I became really, really good friends with, we were like, oh, we had such a good time. Like, let's do it now that we're even closer. And like the core group of my friends in that 20 were like, yeah, we'll do it again. Why not? It was another magical year. So then this was our 3rd year. And after this one, we were like, we need a break. We definitely need a break. And if I'm honest, I think there's like a whole nother podcast episode I could do about this cruise specifically this year. The vibes were very different in a lot of ways, and I'm happy to like expound on
Like
that
a
a little
bad
bit.
vibe?
Yeah, I'm happy to expound on it a little bit. The weather was again shitty. It was like
Yeah.
so bad, and because it's in like
Foreshadowing.
yeah, it's in February. So you're kind of like expecting to leave New York or wherever you are and be in like tropical weather, island vibes, get a tan. Nope. It like rained
Ugh.
for like, it was cold and like rainy. And we were like, oh, this is like, we had a good time, but it was just like not
You
amazing.
made the best of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of dynamics on the cruise, which kind of imitate, I guess, like the stereotypes of gay life. Um, People can get fairly cliquey. There's definitely a subset of guys on the cruise who are like the typical hot kind of like exclusionary gays, and that manifests in like specific events that are invite only, and you need a wristband and all these things. So my first year, obviously, like none of us know what we're doing. We're just there to vibe. We don't know about any of this stuff. We kind of get there and I meet some people. There's this guy I know and like get connected with this, like, to be honest, like pretty toxic group. And they basically host what is known as like the hot boy orgy on the boat. And you can only go if you are given a wristband prior to said event. And like they have it, I think, 2 or 3 times during the cruise. And, you know, you get the wristband, you're fine. But if you don't, like, you can go to the door. They just are like, no,
Those
go
rooms
away.
aren't that big, though.
The suites host them. So they are like pretty big. The suites are like 2 floors. They have like big balconies. And some of them, like, you can connect the balconies. So it's like this suite and this suite will like host a party together. They connect the balcony and it's like a decent amount of space.
Brian, you
So-
really asked the game-changing questions, by the way. I was sitting thinking this was happening in a stateroom, so I appreciate you.
All
Yeah.
I'm
would be
hearing right
wild.
now, but all I'm hearing right now is I feel bad for the maid service on this cruise because every
Oh.
day when you are changing sheets,
What a
Mhm.
sticky
you are
mess.
I could not even imagine
No.
those poor. That is why at least the gays on this cruise do tip the staff very, very well.
they better.
And one of the funny things or not interesting things is like to work this cruise, like people actually volunteer. Like the staff volunteer because they want to work this because the gays are so nice and they tip so well. So like, yes, we're doing some crazy stuff, but the staff like us and we're really nice. So I think that's important.
Don't mind the maids walking around in rainbow hazmat suits every morning, just cleaning up the mess from the night before, you know?
But it's also like you're just walking around this cruise. People are like practically naked. They're doing wild things on the dance floor. The staff just sees all of this and they just kind of go about as if
what are you going to do?
nothing's happening. Like,
yeah.
you know, it's just another
They
day.
have to be okay with it. Joseph,
Yeah.
there was a story about someone who had a goal for the cruise.
My God.
Right?
Yes.
This is not a friend of yours. I will preface this. It's just
Not-
someone on the cruise.
Not a friend of mine. I I'm pretty sure I met this guy at my first cruise, maybe. His goal was to get like 120 loads
over the course of the
Not of
week,
laundry.
over the course of the week. And rules like no repeats.
rules.
How do you remember?
Right. But I think that was one of the main rules. But yeah, like 120 in a week, which if you do the math,
You don't leave your room.
You're not leaving your room.
It's a busy week.
Busy week, booked and busy.
Yeah.
Another funny story about the cruise is they had a sushi party, which is not what you would think it is. So basically, they literally posted this like omakase menu where a dude was like a different course on the omakase, and he would more or less do like a different sexual thing, like coordinated to what his thing on the omakase was. Yeah, so you could go to one of the suites for this omakase and take part if you were so inclined. I did not.
This is like,
because it terrified me.
This is like gay Burning Man on water.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I'm here for this.
Yeah, but at least you have showers.
That's true.
That sound you made.
Okay, Joseph, it is time. We could talk about cruising all day long, but we're going to dig deeper into you to learn more about you in our silly game, This or That. We're going to call it the High Fashion Model Who Works at Google Edition.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go first.
Love it.
First is, do you prefer a European summer or a tropical island getaway?
Tropical island. Yes.
Where?
I'm an island boy.
You are?
Well, I mean, you could do Greece and then you kind of get like a little bit of both. But I love Hawaii. I really, really love Hawaii. So that is a special place for me.
Never been, guys. I need to get there. Joseph, are you a front row at the main stage or VIP lounge and chill kind of guy?
Front row at the main stage. A great example is like Coachella last year. I got VIP tickets through work, which was amazing, but none of my friends had VIP, and like I would much rather be like in the action, getting the vibes from the crowd than just like VIP. It's like stuffy, and people are all like, no offense, kind of posers there. Probably a lot of influencers who are like not that fun, if I'm honest. So I would much rather be there jumping around with like friends and strangers and just like vibing.
This happened in Vegas when I was with you and Charlie. She was
Front
there.
row.
I'm like, I am good in my seat in the back, and Joseph darted to the very, very front.
That's so funny.
Okay, free Charlie concert. Come on, gotta be front row.
I love a good seat though. Okay, this one always gets a visceral reaction. Do you prefer a shower or a bath?
Shower.
See? People just answer this one so
Who
quickly.
Who said bath? Baths are nice, but like...
I love a bath. Not daily.
No, not daily.
No,
but I love a vibe.
Team shower for sure. Yeah, it's shower all the way.
Okay, you answered that one really quickly. I wonder how this one's going to go. Scruff or no scruff?
I would say like scruff like mine is good. If it's like around that, like I'd say like 1 to 2 to 3 day stubble, great. Any longer like verging on beard territory is just not really my thing. But yeah, I'm not opposed to either. Like if you're clean shaven, love, but a little bit of scruff also totally fine. But the beard territory is just kind of not my thing.
Too Brooklyn for you.
I was going to say too Duck Dynasty, but sure, Brooklyn works.
Okay, I actually don't know this about you. Window seat or aisle seat?
Oh, good question.
Window seat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm aisle.
Love a window seat. Just because I am a really good sleeper on planes. I will truly fall asleep before we take off, and I want to be uninterrupted. Like if someone's got to get up, I'm not waking up. So definitely window.
Can I ask you a follow-up on this one? This doesn't count as my... Okay. When you sleep by the window, do you lower the shade or do you leave it up?
It depends. So I sleep with a sleep mask. So honestly, it does not matter if the window's open or closed. For me, the world is completely black either way.
Sure.
So it doesn't matter. I will probably close it most of the time though, but it also depends like what time the flight is.
I think it should be closed, so thank you. It's like, come on, y'all. It is so bright in the airplane.
It does get
is.
really, really bright. But then I'm like, sometimes if it's a daytime flight and I'm like, if I'm working, the shade's up for sure.
I think that's all fair. We don't have to get into the semantics. We're gonna do this in the second pod with the cruising because we have to get
Yes.
to these locations.
We can go
We'll
way
unpack this.
further on
Deep.
that and
Okay.
just gay partying in general.
My
I
real
have a lot to
question,
say.
yes, and as do I clearly. My real question to you, Joseph, is: are you a butt guy or a chest guy?
Probably chest guy,
Okay,
but mostly an abs guy.
Yeah, I know that about you.
Mhm.
That's true. He's not lying. He works on his own 8-pack too, guys. Check
He
out his
does.
Insta. Okay. Speaking of working on a 6-pack and being sporty, you're playing your baseball game. Are we pitching in the game or catching in the game?
We're completely 100% verse.
We are playing all the sides.
100%. But my personal opinion is everyone should be verse.
Yep.
It is so much more fun. But if that's not for you, fine. But yeah, 100% verse.
Agreed.
Plays the field. John's always
Mhm.
shortstop. Don't ask.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a side situation going on over here, but it's all good. It's all
I
good.
respect that. Totally
Thank
fair.
Thank you. Not all anatomies are the same, Brian.
Mhm.
What are you gonna say? Are you gonna try to defend
We're
my
good.
asshole? Okay, good. Thank you. Joseph, would you prefer a spontaneous weekend trip or a heavily planned itinerary?
I don't know.
Well, that's
you?
I do lean more towards planner. Or at least like planned event. I do a ton of nonsense, spontaneous stuff. Like on this Euro trip after Berlin Pride, my friends stayed in Berlin. And I was like, I'm going to Sofia, Bulgaria for 3 days. I'll see you in Amsterdam. So like, I will do both,
Sure.
but my preference is I because I think this kind of is carryover from my work. I am very organized and I like things to be quite like together, done, and kind of locked ahead of time. So default
Same.
planner, but I've been known to do a lot of random shit in my life. So
That is fair. I think I know the answer to this one, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Are you a night owl party animal or an early bird sightseer?
you definitely know that I am a night owl. I am not a morning person at all.
He's not.
I don't like it. I never have been. I tried to become a morning person when I graduated college and did consulting. It failed miserably. So yeah, total night owl.
Well, this leads perfectly into my next question because I'm curious: are you a late night DM slide kind of guy or a chemistry in person kind of guy?
Oh, um, it depends. It definitely depends. I feel like logistically the in-person can be tricky sometimes, especially since I find myself going out in Brooklyn a lot these days if I'm here. And then it's just like, oh, where in the city do you live? Oh, whose place are we going to? Mine. I prefer mine. Let's just go to mine. And so it becomes a little tricky. But ideally, I'm an in-person guy, but slide into those DMs. I'll slide into yours if I'm interested. So
Hey,
Again, your verse. You'll do it both ways. Okay.
yeah.
Last one. Do you want to be remembered for your unstoppable drive or your massive heart?
Oh, heart, 100%. Like, that's so much more important to me. I think I hope that is carried through in my actions. I am really more of an actions speak louder than words kind of guy. Um, my friends will tell you I'm not really one to give a lot of compliments. Like, that's not my love language, but like acts of service are how I show love and care. And I would hope that that is translated. So
I just love that. It definitely was here today, Joseph. Thank you so much for bringing your incredible energy, your humor, and your massive heart to the studio today. And having you as a friend and a colleague is an absolute gift, I have to say. I'm so glad our audience got to see the human side behind all of your iconic photos.
gosh, thank you both. I'm so glad to have been able to do this. And
Yes.
yeah, have me back anytime. Happy to come back and chat more. This was so lovely.
You will be back. Go follow Joseph's adventures and tap into his world right now. Joseph, tell everyone where they can follow you on the gram, the TikTok, all the places.
Yes. So on Instagram, joseph.lucido, follow along, see my unhinged life. And add me on LinkedIn. Do that too. Why not?
Ooh, he's a professional girly.
Get both sides.
We haven't had that yet, John.
No,
LinkedIn
I know.
plug.
Hey, you got to network.
Well,
Networking is important. LinkedIn influencers, their
Girl,
thing. So
it is.
add me wherever, but most active on Instagram. So please feel free to hit me up, slide in those DMs.
I was just going to say, I'm obsessed. I'm sliding into your LinkedIn DMs. All right, Chosen fam. That is our show for today. Remember to keep living your best, vibrant lives. Keep creating your own paths. Stay loud, stay laughing, and hold your chosen family close. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
This was Out Loud and Laughing.
We're available everywhere you get your podcasts. Spotify, Apple, YouTube, iHeart, or wherever.